Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Friday Apocryphal and podcast. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today we are covering the Sibylline Oracles, Book 14, lines 1 through 283.
Did it.
There we go. Good enough. Amazing.
So next week, we're going to be finishing the Sibylline Oracles.
Yeah, we will be. Very exciting. These have been taking a while. So
it's a significant piece. It's very very popular among occultists.
There is a lot of stuff in the Sibylline Oracles that can help with understanding the context of not just the New Testament, but also with some interpretations of it as well.
Well, also, over the last couple of books, we've gotten a pretty good understanding, I think, of like Christian ideas about the Roman world.
Yeah, and in this one, it seems to be fairly within the Sibylline Oracles. They seem to be fairly mixed about Roman emperors. So one, I think, was it Sibylline Oracle? Was it 13? Was the 13th one that had like high praise for some of these people?
No, that was 12.
It was 12? Okay.
13 was more neutral.
Yeah. And of course, with the New Testament doesn't have very high praise of the Romans, but Sibylline Oracles, depending on which one you read, could have a very high praise of them, which is interesting to see.
Yeah.
So
what are you reading out of?
I am reading from the Old Testament Pseudepigrapha, Volume 1, Apocalyptic Literature and Testaments, edited by James H. Charlesworth.
With the Sibylline Oracles translated and annotated by J.J. Collins.
Yeah. Great writer on Jewish apocalypticism. He's written a whole bunch of stuff on it.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so this week we are not finishing book 14. We will be getting halfway through it, a little over halfway through it. And then next week we'll be talking about the rest of book 14 and then the fragments. And the fragments are fairly short when you put them all together. They only cover about 2 pages, not even.
Right.
About...
And there's not extensive commentary either about them.
Yeah. So it looks like how many fragments are there? 8 fragments, and one of them is 2 words.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dog.
So very unfortunate. We don't really have anything to go off of for fragment 7. It looks like, but whatever. Anyways, we'll get there when we get there. So book 14. For anyone who has labored through the first 11 books of the Sibylline Oracles, the 12th, or in this case the 14th, book 14, because some of them are the same. We talked about the numbering of them.
Yeah, some of them are just copies of previous books.
Yeah, so they're not even counted among them. It's just so this 12th book must seem the ultimate reductio ad absurdum of a genre never noted for its rationality. Alexander's despairing conclusion was, and that's a scholar, obviously, not the other Alexander, not the famous one.
Right.
The despairing conclusion was that the book was composed, quote, either in insane zeal for prophecy or in hope of profit. Gefkin's indignant outburst was worthy of a Sibyl. The Sibylist was, quote, a fantast, an ignoramus who knew nothing except the names of peoples, countries, and cities, and arbitrarily mixed these.
You might be right about some of these authors.
Yeah,
this is wonderful.
Yeah, now with one, now with another traditional motif playing mindlessly. And his prophecy was, quote, general raving. So that's wow. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
We're gonna have ramblings about ill-informed opinions.
I love it. Even W. Scott, who was heavily committed to finding authentic historical references in the book, can do no better than suggest, quote, that each of the several paragraphs was originally composed as an account of some known ruler, but that they were not originally connected together in one series, and that their present arrangement is merely accidental.
That's the best assessment of the reading?
This is pretty great.
Boy.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be more like that last guy. I try to actually try really hard to find historical references, like just try to make it make even a little bit of sense. And it's like, I don't know, man.
This is going to be nuts.
Oh, this is going to be great.
All right.
Precedent can be found for such random collections of oracles. Oh, yeah, one of the Sibylline Oracles is just a collection of previous oracles, which is why it's not listed as one of the books. But in Sibylline Oracles 14, it comprises very nearly the entire book, at least verses 1 through 283, which we are covering today. Since the text is also hopelessly corrupt, the book has little meaning, let alone importance.
Wonderful. I'm sure this is getting our audience hyped.
Oh, yeah.
About how meaningless and unimportant book 14 is.
This is
Well, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot of random, crazy ravings. I love it.
information.
It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah. If Scott's interpretation is correct, the book took its final form no earlier than the 7th century. In any case, it seems to be the latest of the Sibylline collection and certainly cannot be earlier than the 3rd century. The poor state of the text and uncertainty of the references prevent any definite conclusion. Yeah.
Hooray.
And of course, we have just talked about how it was generally unimportant because no one could really understand it, even if
I'll
it was.
never forget you, name excluded.
Right.
Well,
Yes, that's a good one.
Perhaps, Lawrence,
Maybe we can.
the more difficult it is to understand the contents of the 14th Sibylline Oracle, the more valuable, the deeper esoteric meaning of the work.
Yeah, my ass. See, that was Blavatsky. Blavatsky, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
She's insane. I remember we were reading through one of her books, and I don't remember which one it was.
Isis Unveiled.
Isis Unveiled. Okay, thank you.
You guys got through like 30 pages out loud.
Yeah.
It hurt.
Yeah, it was
I
nuts.
just want to leave.
It was
It's an amazing
Not
book.
like this where I can sit here and tolerate it.
Yeah, so she did say like, the more you don't understand something, or the less clear something is, the deeper its hidden meaning.
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Here you go, guys. Look at this.
Wow, that's amazing. He's holding up one of
I
those mechanical
understand
pencils,
the hidden meaning of this.
and it looks like
thing.
there's some plastic attached to it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
This is a
It's very
hairband
deep.
holding together tweezers and a pencil.
I see. Wow.
Come on, guys.
That must have a deep esoteric
It
meaning.
does.
Like, I'm
I
sure
won't tell you it. You don't
that-
have to imply it yourself.
Oh, right,
I'm
right.
sure
That's
that
the true
some
gift.
graduate student in an art program could write a 50,000 word thesis about the statement made by that piece.
I'm
You know
very
what?
unhappy.
Probably, and I hate that that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in an art history course right now,
No,
and
sorry.
so we have to like describe multiple pieces, right? So I chose to go with like this Egyptian with this coffin, okay, because there was like so much detail on it. I could talk about all this stuff individually, and it would fill up the 3 necessary pages for it. And apparently there was still stuff missing. Like when I said that it was, because they want to know about the size of it, and I said that it's human size, like it's life size. It's a coffin to hold a person. And I didn't think I'd have to like talk about its fucking dimensions.
Hey.
But
Right.
that was like, you didn't say anything about the size other than it was human size. I'm like, that's pretty fucking good.
Right. Nope. You had to measure it by
Fucking
millimeters.
Ridiculous. That is useless detail, honestly.
Mm.
We've had picometers.
It holds a
in
person. That's what you need to know.
For decades. You better get those picometers right.
Yeah, I better. Anyways, so yeah, how about we hop into the 14th, or technically the 12th, but in a way the 14th Sybil.
Technically the 14th.
Yeah.
And we will unlock the secret inner wisdom that has been unattainable for scholars.
Right. There may perhaps be some crazy ravings in here, but
It sounds
I
like I should pay attention because there's no meaning, and I better find the meaning.
Right, yeah.
Nobody else has found it yet.
And with Chris's weird brain,
fucked up brain.
should help. Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope it works well.
I also want to note that there's very little commentary, very few footnotes.
Yeah, I bet, because it's wildly crazy.
Yeah.
So
awesome. All right, book 14.
although I do remember I was the one that I was reading online, the one that I used to like set up the episodes. Just to, like, get like a background image and verses and stuff like that. They did make some identifications with some Roman rulers, some later Roman rulers in about the like early to mid 5th century. So they made some identifications. I should have written some of those down.
Print that off.
But
I
if
got a printer here that's pretty good. You can use.
right, that is true.
You could just pull it up on your phone.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah,
Either way.
but they make some definite identifications. But also, I don't know enough about those kind of honestly pretty obscure Roman rulers to actually have valuable input on its identification.
Nice if we had like a Roman scholar on our crew.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, that'd
especially
be awesome.
for this, yeah.
Who do we know that knows about Rome?
Other than my dad.
Other than Carrier.
Carrier.
Carrier doesn't know about Rome.
I'm pretty sure you got like a
does.
PhD in like Roman history.
Yeah, but I have doubts about
Okay.
the legitimacy of anything that Carrier
Fair
does.
enough.
So, I don't know. Penn guy probably knows about Rome.
About like later
He
Rome?
has a history degree.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, we could just get David Fitzgerald. He also has a history degree.
Yeah,
Oh my
I'm
God,
sure they
I
make
forgot
you
he
study
existed.
Rome.
Well, yeah,
your
at least like a
history
little
degree.
bit.
Do you think
Yeah.
David Fitzgerald and us are cool still?
Yeah.
Like our group?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
absolutely.
totally forgot about it.
Yeah,
This is pretty neat.
David is sometimes on Aaron's show.
Oh, fair enough.
So, yeah.
Cool. Anyway, why don't I hop into it? We're already over 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
So, we have an introductory section against the pride of kings. Men, why do you vainly think excessively proud thoughts as if you were immortals, though your lordship is short, and all wish to reign over mortals, not perceiving that God himself hates the love of lordship, and especially insatiable kings, terrible and impious? He stirs up darkness against thee, because instead of good deeds and righteous thoughts, they all prefer purple mantles and cloaks, desiring the wars, woes, and murders. Imperishable God who dwells in the sky will utterly destroy these men and make them short-lived, and will slay one here and another there.
Well, at least that's, kind of in line with the message we got from, was it in Samuel, right? Where they want, because that was the reason Saul became king.
Right.
Because the people wanted a king, but God was like, it's not a very good idea, but sure, fine, I guess. So at least it stands in line with something like that.
Oh, Wesley's back.
Oh, great. All right. I'm just going to let him do his thing. And
Yeah.
just let him do his
Free
thing.
traffic.
Yeah. Wesley, please entertain the chat. You're doing a great job, buddy.
Yeah. And spread the good word.
Yeah. Spread the good word.
Whatever your word is, man.
Yeah. But, we've seen a pretty consistent hatred of kings in various works.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So we now have another section, and this section is the long one.
The long one. Yeah. This is the one that will go on until the end. Usually sections are like, 10, 15, 20 lines or something.
Yeah, this one is like 270.
Right. Yeah. Quick math. Good job.
Yeah.
So this is going to make up the majority of the book, and this section will end the reading as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this section is called Prophecies of Various Rulers.
Yeah. Various rulers.
Yep. Okay. But whenever the destroyer of bulls, trusting in his strength, comes with beautiful shaggy hair and destroys all and crushes the shepherds, they will have no strength unless the young dogs with fleetness of feet come to the strife through the glens, eager to pursue. So There's a footnote. It says the animal imagery of this passage recalls Daniel 7 through 8.
Sure. Yeah.
And the animal apocalypse of 1st Enoch.
Yes.
But especially Sibylline Oracle 13, lines 158 through 69. Accordingly, Alexandra sees here a reference to Odinath.
Yes, that was actually one of the people that was cited, I think. So the Odinath reference, right? That was the guy that we covered before. But that was, I think it was probably just a translation issue. Or maybe it's just a transliteration issue. But there was a different king that was cited. It wasn't Odinath, but there was a different king that was thought to be by the translation I was reading online. But that king also started with an O. So I can check on the name. I can try to pull all that stuff up. But essentially, I think Odinath would make sense here, kind of, because apparently he was, he had some battle prowess, right? As we learned from the last book.
So far, they like him, seemingly, the oracles, to praise him.
At least
how old he is.
In the sense that they fear him, maybe.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it could easily be him. Could be a whole bunch of people, especially if it's a propaganda piece. Mm-hmm. It could be anyone.
Well, it seems like this is going to be a pretty consistent propaganda piece. This is just going to be someone raving about their opinions about these people.
Right, yeah.
And
Multiple people.
Favorite line.
That is a pretty good one. That's pretty good.
So the hound pursued the lion, which was destroying the herdsman. Then there will also be a prince of 4 syllables, trusting in his strength, manifest from a unit. The 4 syllables. Perhaps Aureolus, proclaimed emperor in AD 268 and assassinated the same year.
Okay.
Brazen heirs will quickly destroy him on account of the strife of insatiable men.
That would make sense.
Yes. Yeah. Thereafter, 2 other men, princes, will rule, both of the number 40. The note says, i.e., with the initial M. No identification is possible here or in the majority of the references in this book.
Wow. Okay, so so that one's just unknown.
And the majority are unknown.
Right, yeah, the majority are unknown. And this is where you start to get kind of speculative because
you see, because it's a prophecy.
Anyways.
It's foretelling the future.
Yeah, anyways.
It was talking about MM.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Dun, dun, dun.
So I think that what would be really kind of cool is to look into like the actual, their Roman names and then try to see like, okay, so could somebody mistake this letter for something else? Because as they said, the text was broken. Or even into the wording that's used in the original language. Mm-hmm. Like maybe they copied something down wrong to a point where it's unidentifiable.
Right.
Or maybe it sounded like a different word because maybe it was orated or something. So it could be a whole bunch of things, but you'd have to get really speculative. Mm-hmm. But I think that sounds fun. That sounds like very time consuming. It's probably not worth it at all. But it sounds fun.
I think
make it happen.
Maybe
here play telephone with itself and
right.
This is what I think.
Google Translate.
Yeah, that's true.
So we've got to go with a parsimonious explanation for this, and I'm going to suggest that because the vast majority of references in the book can't be identified through this kind of thing, maybe, just maybe, the person writing the book didn't know how to do it properly.
Maybe. Or alternatively, they were actually writing prophecy. Mm-hmm. But then it just didn't work out for them.
Right.
But they tried. They really, really tried.
Yeah.
Maybe that is it. And if it is, that's going to be hilarious. We're in for a ride.
All right. In their time there will be great peace of the world and on all the people, and law and justice. But men with gleaming helmets, in need of gold and silver, because of this will kill them impiously, taking them in their hands. Then again, a terrible young warrior will rule, a lord of the number 70, a fiery destroyer of spirits, who will impiously hand over to an army the people of Rome, which is being slain in the wickedness on account of the wrath of kings, when he has cast down the entire famous city of the Latins. It is no longer possible to see Rome, nor is it possible to hear, in such form as another bypasser saw her a short time before.
So initially they're describing a war that's going to break out, and then they're describing the
people being sold out.
Yeah. So that has happened before. We have talked about at least one of the kings in the last book did that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I forget who it was,
I think so.
But I think one of the kings did that. And I guess it would be unclear if it's meant to be that same one. It would probably be a different one, or they just fucked up the number again. Which is completely possible. They could have fucked up everything. So,
yeah.
Unless that happened another time in later Roman history.
Or they're actually trying to prophecy.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
No one's doing that.
Yeah, no one's doing that.
They're oracles.
Yeah,
it's prophecy.
The age of prophecy is over, guys, remember?
Yeah. That's why it's all nonsense from here on out.
Right, yeah.
Yep. Anyways, I've also noticed that the writing is kind of awkward.
It
Probably
is.
due to the nature of the state of the book as a set of ramblings and
Right, yeah.
So really, maybe it's just the case here that the person writing it was not a good writer.
Maybe they just really, really sucked. Maybe that's why the Sibylline Oracles end here. They were like, okay, you guys are done.
Yeah.
Not writing anymore because everybody has progressively gotten worse as we've gone on. And
I don't
it's
know.
gotten really bad.
It's like when a sequel is so bad that it shuts down the entire franchise.
Star Wars episode 27.
Oh my God.
I don't know what we're doing anymore.
That'll probably happen.
It will
Yeah.
someday.
You're going to be alive for it, Lawrence. You're
Probably.
going to hate me when it happens and we rewatch this episode and I'm like, I told you it's going to happen.
Yeah,
And-
I wasn't like disagreeing with you.
I know.
I'm pretty confident that's
but
going to happen.
You're going to hate it. I'm going to say
Why would I hate it?
because it'll...
Hey,
it'll
good
have
job,
you-
future me.
Yeah, right. You'll be in it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, unwillingly as well.
Like I'm just like in the background.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyways, moving on. For all this will lie in ashes, and there will be no sparing of works. For the destructive one himself will come from heaven. Immortal God will send lightning bolts and thunderbolts from the sky against men. Some he will destroy with blazing lightnings, other with fierce thunderbolts. Then the infants of mighty Rome and the famous Latins will kill the dread shameless lord.
Wow. So the people rise up,
Yeah, the infants.
apparently.
It's the kids take out the emperor.
Holy
right?
shit.
That's pretty intense.
I feel like if that has ever happened where
we would know about it.
so what I'm wondering if this is meant to be, because like usually like, you know, like the younger kids, sometimes they have in the past usurped their, like the current king, but they're like, you know, they're also part of the royal family. So like if the people in the royal household did that, like the younger ones in the royal household did that, then I could see that being an interpretation. But I don't know if that happened in these years.
Right. Okay. Where was I? They'll kill the dread shameless lord.
Yeah.
Nor will light dust lie around him when he is dead, but he will be a plaything for dogs and birds and wolves because he despoiled warlike people. After him,
Oh yeah, that one's easy. Because they're not gonna bury him.
Mhm.
They're gonna leave his body out. Yeah.
right.
Dog.
After him, another famous man of the number 40 will rule.
Is he famous? Let's find out.
So Razak sees here a reference to Marcus Aurelius,
Okay.
who at various times was known as Parthicus Maximus and as Germanicus. Such a reference is quite out of context here.
Right. Yeah. Because then they're just bouncing around time scales, time periods. Yeah.
Well, that's nonsensical.
You're right.
Because it says a destroyer of Parthians and Germans.
Sure.
In the next line. So they refer to him as a destroyer of Parthians and Germans who unleashed terrible man-slaying beasts which harass constantly on the streams of the ocean and Euphrates, which does not sound like Marcus Aurelius. I don't think.
I have no idea.
The nicknames, I guess, are the closest thing.
That's also what I was thinking. Like if they were using for their gematria, if they were using nicknames.
Oh, yeah, that would make it much harder.
It would.
Yeah.
It would, because they got a whole bunch of nicknames. Like if you're trying to do gematria with like the name of God, but like so you have like Yahweh, right? But then like what if you started doing like El or El Shaddai or like all the other plethora of names and epithets for it? Like one of the ones that was in there was like Cloud Rider, right? That was one that was used. Like if you just started doing that, that makes it so much more difficult. So yeah, if that's what they're doing, that just means the hidden meaning is deeper.
So deep.
Oh my God.
It's true.
Oh no.
Blavatsky was right. Oh no.
Please no one take that out of context.
Now someone will.
You're probably right.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Fuck.
Yeah. Anyways. And then Rome will be again as it was before. But when a great wolf comes on his soil, a prince risen from the west will thereafter die, cloven by sharp bronze in mighty war. Then another Ares of mighty spirit will rule, the exceedingly mighty Romans manifested from Assyria. He will be of the first letter and will subordinate everything in wars. He and his armies simultaneously will display dominion and establish laws. Brazen Ares will quickly destroy him when he falls in the deceitful ranks.
This could be a few people, because maybe this could be Theodosius?
It could be.
Because he had his laws, right? Theodosian law code. Could be him, but
afterwards
the thing is,
it says, after him 3 who have a proud heart will rule. One with the number of a unit, one of 3 decades, the other a prince who will share in 300.
What?
Right? It says this passage recalls the treatment of the Antonines in Sibylline Oracle 8 and 12. The letters A and L might refer to Antoninus Pius and Lucius Verus. The third initial T makes no sense, but the distribution of gold and silver recalls the prophecy in Sibylline Oracle 8, lines 68 through 72, that Marcus Aurelius would surrender the wealth of the world to the returned Nero. It is impossible to attach any meaning to the passage in its present context.
you know
What? It kind of sounds like Alexander.
sure, yeah, that's true. It could be a number of people in Greek and Roman history. Another possibility. This is me just throwing this out here. This is speculation. So maybe each section about each king was written, and then even though it says after that, maybe that's just like a way of the author saying like next section or next chapter, but they were like put together later. So like here's what I'm thinking, if you're getting what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get
So they were all, done separately, and then there was a compiler who would put down after that, but then the compiler would be an idiot.
Yeah.
Because either he's just using the wrong word or we're just translating something wrong.
Mm-hmm. But the references also don't actually fit any
Right.
figures.
That also is true. Man, there are a lot of issues here, guys.
Moving on, yeah.
But that's because it's prophecy.
Oh yeah, of course.
Well, I'm sure there have been Nostradamus, right?
Sure, yeah.
Right.
That's right. Prophecy, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you read Nostradamus?
I have read some of these sections when people make videos or posts about how it went wrong.
Isn't it great?
It's always pretty amusing. I think who does it remind me of? Oh, who's that psychic? That's Sylvia Brown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love when people who claim to have this higher form of knowledge just get everything fucking wrong because they're fucking liars, like Sylvia Brown.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking I'm a liar and
Do you
I get everything wrong.
Do you remember back in
Wow.
like the late 90s, early 2000s, maybe even mid 2000s, talk shows used to have like psychics come on.
Yeah.
Like it was happening all the time.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous that we were giving them so much fucking airtime. There was the one story about Sylvia Brown that I was thinking. There was this girl who was kidnapped, and she was locked up, but like she had like a TV. She had access to a TV.
Mm-hmm.
So she was watching, I forget which talk show it was, but they had Sylvia Brown on, and the girl's mother was there and asked about her daughter and about like, will she ever come back? Is she still alive? And Sylvia Brown was like, I'm sorry, she's dead.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing
And this girl was like, what the actual fuck? Like, first of all, at that moment, I'm pretty sure she realized that Sylvia Brown is a fucking liar.
Mm-hmm.
And then she did, survive and escape. And she's talked about it before, but mostly about how heartbreaking it was in the moment to have like your mother ask for hope and not get any, especially when it's like, even if it's fucking false hope.
Like it's a psychic, man.
Yeah, supposed to be a psychic. My fucking ass.
No false hope psychic.
Oof.
They're like, sorry, she's dead. And
We've just kind of moved on from the stage psychic phenomenon on television.
yeah,
Good.
because now we just kind of acknowledge, hey, you could have like a mentalist, like a magician, right?
Mm.
They can do that, but they're telling you that it's a trick.
Yeah.
They're like, no, I'm trying to trick you.
Right. So, like, we're talking about all these different leaders. So, wretched ones who will melt gold and silver in a great fire, the statues of temples made by hands, and they will give them to the armies, furnishing them with money for the sake of victory, dividing great and noble treasures. Desiring base things, they will equally ravage the arrow-shooting Parthians of the deep-flowing Euphrates, and hostile Medes, and Massagetae, warriors with delicate hair, and Persians, men who carry quivers. But whenever the king comes to an end by his own fate, leaving his royal scepter to his younger sons and imposing law, they will immediately forget the injunctions of the father, arm their hands for war, and set out for strife for royal dominion.
Okay.
And it says...
So they take over rule from their dad, and then want to expand. But
yeah.
so the Medes, depending on the time period, they could have been completely gone, right? Because they kind of went after Alexander took over, right? I'm pretty sure.
Razak here sees a reference to the brothers Caracalla and Geta, the prince of the number 3 in verse 74. Caracalla assassinated Geta and became sole emperor in defiance of their father's wishes.
Okay, so I'm wondering here when media kind of collapsed. Yeah, it collapsed actually before.
Well, I would say probably around like 2013, 2014 when Netflix started getting really popular.
That's when the Medes went away?
Oh, no, that's when media collapsed.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
Gotcha.
there you
Wow. Good one.
Nice.
Very good joke.
Yes.
Funny joke.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, I'm going to hand it off to you.
Okay.
We are
Yeah, apparently the Median Empire had collapsed in the 6th century.
74.
Yeah. You're at 74? Oh my god, this is already horrible. The another single prince of the number 3, it's supposed to be then. Yeah, then
Yeah.
another single prince.
There have been a few typos. Come on, JJ.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Not his fault.
Of the number 3 will rule. He will rule again, and he will quickly see fate, smitten with a spear. After him, then, many will perish on top of each other, mighty men for royal dominion. One great spirited man will rule over the exceedingly mighty Romans, an elderly man of the number 4, and he will arrange all things well. Yeah, that's all we get. Just an old guy who does some good things.
Some nice old man will
Puts
rule.
things in an order that everyone likes.
Right. We also have to remember the point of view this is coming from.
Maybe the gematria isn't a reference to names in this book.
So
Maybe it's a reference to qualities. Maybe it's a reference to like a significant event.
maybe
Oh no.
that's an interesting idea.
Or it's nonsense.
Yeah, because gematria doesn't have to just be related to names.
Right.
True.
Yeah. That is an interesting idea. Well, yeah, I guess let's see what we come up with here. Then war and strife will come upon Phoenicia when the nations of the arrow-shooting Persians come near. Alas, how much will fall at the hands of savage-speaking men, Sidon, Tripoli, and proud Beirut.
Beirut.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long has Beirut been around?
Well,
So
let me look it up.
the thing is, a lot of places in the Middle East have, of course, much. I mean, they, for the most part, they have much longer histories than them currently in their modern form, right? So
Beirut has been inhabited for more than 5,000 years and was one of Phoenicia's most prominent city-states, making it one of the oldest cities in the world.
Gotcha. Okay,
First
good to know.
historical mention of Beirut is found in the Amarna letters
Oh,
from the New Kingdom of Egypt, which date to the 14th century BC.
okay. All right. Well, there you go. Yeah. So the place was around a lot longer before it became incorporated into all those other nations and states. That is interesting. Yeah, Amarna letters.
Yeah.
That's nuts. We'll see each other amid corpses and blood. Wretched Laodicea, you will raise up about yourself a great unsuccessful war through the impiety of men. Alas, wretched Tyrians, you will reap the bad harvest, whenever the sun which gives light to men fails in the day.
So that's another reference to astronomical changes that are caused by God, right? So
As is tradition, right?
it happens a lot.
Yeah.
For how much it happens in all the writings that we read, you would figure it would happen more often.
See, this next line is cool as shit. So, so whenever the sun gives light to men, fails in the day, and the disk does not shine, bloody drops will come on the earth thick and frequent from heaven. It's going to rain fucking blood.
It's going to rain blood.
Just like the Slayer song said.
Yes. Slayer must have read
They must have read
Sibylline
this.
Oracles.
Wow.
Book 14.
I knew it.
It would explain a lot about Slayer.
Right? Then a king will die, betrayed by his companions. After him, many shameless leaders will kill each other, carrying on wicked strife. Then there will be a majestic prince of many councils, with the name of the number 5, relying on great armies, whom men will love for the sake of royal dominion. Having a noble name, he will associate it with noble deeds. There will be a terrible sign. I feel like this one would be easier to identify, because if the person has a name that is like that of a noble deed, then what you would realistically have to do is check the names and see which words originate from, or at least very similar to, other common words that are
noble deeds.
Yeah, that are noble deeds. So I feel like that would be an easier one to do, because so when it comes to royal naming conventions, often there would be part of the name some amount of reverence for it, either for the kingdom or for a god or something. So it wouldn't be that infrequent. So I feel like that one is at least a possible way to identify.
Yeah.
Have to look at it. There will be a terrible sign. When he holds sway between Taurus and snowy Amanus, one certain city will perish from the land of the Cilicians. Will perish from the land of the Cilicians, a beautiful and strong city of a mighty river. There will be many earthquakes in Propontis and Phrygia. A famous king will lose his life.
Oh, no. It's not like that could be
anyone.
In a consumptive disease of death by his own fate.
Oh.
STD.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, it sounds like it.
It could be, yeah. That's just still have no idea though. After this man, 2 princely kings will rule. The one presenting a number of 300, the other of 3. Therefore, he will also destroy many, for the city of seven-hilled Rome, on account of the mighty kingdom. Then evil will come upon the Senate, and it will not escape when the angry king is in wrath against it.
So when has evil come upon the Senate?
Could be a few times.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people that were not liked.
Yes.
So yeah, I can't really tell you. But then the king is angry about it too, right? Angry about the Senate in general. There will be a sign among all earthly men. There will be numerous showers of snow. Hail will destroy the fruits of cattle on the boundless earth. Man, voice crack. On the boundless earth. They themselves will fall overcome in wars by mighty Ares because of the war of Italians. Then another resourceful king will rule. Having gathered the entire army and divided money between those with bronze breastplates for the sake of war. But then the Nile, beyond fruitful Libya of the mainland, will water for 2 years the black plain of Egypt. Yeah, red land, black land. Okay. But they're only talking about part of it, I guess. Black plain of Egypt and arable land. But famine will prevail over everything, and war and bandits, murderers and slaughters. Many cities will be destroyed by warrior men, with demolitions at the hands of an army. He himself will fall by glittering iron, betrayed.
Glittering iron.
Yeah, glittering iron. No, we've had that a whole bunch of times. Yeah.
You know, a lot of the things that pop up in this book in particular are incredibly vague.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So there isn't really much to comment on.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, so the thing
Here's my
is...
prophecy. Are you ready? You're going to get knocked down, but you're going to get back up
Up again. So
get knocked down.
So dividing up of the money between those with bronze breastplates just seems like paying your soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then with the rest of it, famines, slaughters, criminals.
It's really typical woe stuff.
It is typical woe stuff.
Woe to you, soldier.
So maybe they were trying to write prophecy, but it's like the other side of the woe coin, right?
Maybe it's not like they were trying to write prophecy, but like, you know how some conspiracy theorists today are just convinced that certain events are going to play out in a certain way.
Right, yeah.
Right. And they kind of ramble like this too.
True.
Doomsayers almost.
True. Yeah, doomsayers.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, that's a good one. After him, what? Oh, by the way, guys, if you haven't dropped a like on the stream yet, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. You have to please Wesley, chaperone of the 144,000 member children's choir to Megiddo.
Wow. And the YouTube gods will also love all this stuff. Yeah, they will also like it. So,
get Lawrence a sandwich.
let's see here.
Yeah.
After him, one who obtained an initial of the number 300 will rule the Romans and exceedingly powerful men. He will stretch out a spirit-destroying spear against the Armenians, Parthians, Assyrians, and Persians, steadfast in battle. And then will the foundation of splendidly built Rome be raised up with gold and gold and alloy and silver and ivory ornament. This just seems like a conquest and you take their money.
Yeah.
As is tradition.
Like, pretty much every country's done this at many points in their history.
Yeah, but it is interesting that they get a little more specific with the places. Armenians, Parthians, Assyrians, and Persians.
Yeah. Is there a footnote anywhere?
No.
There's not even a footnote on that page?
There is one footnote on the page, and it references something we haven't gotten to yet.
Okay. Is it substantial?
Nope.
Oh.
Well, it looks like it looks like this is actually a textual emendation.
Oh.
That's what it looks like. Like if they kept it the way that they found it, it wouldn't make any sense as a sentence. But then, so they changed it to something that sounds very similar, as they're fixing what they view as a mistake. This is a way that readings get into texts, by the way. So you have the original, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a copy, which could contain a mistake. And then if you're copying the copy, you maybe fix it, quote unquote, fix it. And you think you fix it properly, but you don't. So now there's 3 readings.
And they all have problems.
Well, no. Well, even the first one is the original.
Right.
And then there's the mistake, and then the mistake trying to fix the mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And so that happens a lot. So they could get it right, theoretically. You could.
I remember back when we were reading the Old Testament.
Back in the day. I remember those days, Sonny.
Ah, yes. Years ago. Literally. But Alter would comment how certain words were like cryptic, right? And that you could like translate it into a way that makes sense if you like reverse all of the letters, or if you like mix all of the letters up, or like if you put it through some kind of like algorithm to
right, essentially like, okay, so maybe
like a cipher, right? So I mean, what do you do as a scholar like this when you run into something like a cipher?
So for a cipher, oh my God, it would be way different. So for that, the first thing you try to find what would act as a vowel, right? That's usually the most common way to do that.
Because a
And then-
cipher can like appear as just like a sentence in a text, right? It doesn't have to be the whole text. It could just
Right.
be part of it.
That's true. So yeah, it takes hold on. Because ciphers usually exchange letters or numbers for other letters or
Well, maybe
numbers,
not
right?
like technically a cipher, but if I were like, hey, Lawrence, the secret is that all the gematria in book 14, you have to add 37.
Something like that. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that would, I guess, trial and error.
Right?
I guess, yeah.
It could theoretically take forever.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And stuff like that. Some scholars have solved in the past, not for biblical stuff necessarily, but I believe for Babylonian stuff they've solved for stuff like that. But that is a tough one. That is a tough one. It's hard to figure out where to start with something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, continuing on here. So they're gonna get all the money from places that they destroy. A great people of all the east and prosperous west will live in her. A king will impose other laws on her. Afterward, wretched death and powerful fate will receive him again on a huge island. This sounds like another one of those returning things. Because this is the king who ruled twice, it looks like, or who came back. Right? We had something before about this specific king ruling again.
We might.
It was very unclear. The actual translation was unclear on what was happening again. Was it the king's ruling or was it the destruction of the place? I think
it would have been the destruction usually.
Right, that's what you would think.
It's the only king who re-rules or anything like that is like Nero.
There's
right?
Nero and then there was another one.
Oh yeah.
We covered it in the last book, right? It was Merates?
Was it?
I feel like it was. Was it a different one? Oh man, I don't know.
Moving on.
I mean, this one, this one returned, yeah. So you have the section here on Merates, and then you have the return of Merates.
Maybe then this is a reference to Merates.
Maybe, yeah. Which would give us that would be interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Yeah, afterward, wretched death and powerful fate will receive him again on a huge island. Another man will rule of 10 times 3, like to a beast with beautiful shaggy hair. That was the guy at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
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 Maybe there's multiple people who look like that. Maybe a lineage.
A beast with shaggy hair, apparently. He will be from the Greeks by race. Then the town of Phthia of the Molossians, which nurtures much, and Larissa will be laid low on the banks of the Peneus or the Peneus. So yeah, this section where it says laid low, this is the one that is amended. That's just a section where they change out the Greek for something that would make sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Then there will be an insurrection of horse-grazing Scythia and a terrible war by the waters of Lake Myotis. On the streams by the furthest source of the spring of Phasis, with moist foliage. Moist foliage.
Moist foliage.
Yes, in the flowery meadow. Many will fall at the hands of mighty warriors. Alas, wretched ones, as many as Ares takes with bronze. Then the king, having utterly destroyed the Scythian race, will die by his own fate, having undone his life. Just like the other one. Except this one seems different. This isn't disease. Maybe he just killed himself.
Mm-hmm.
Another terrible man will rule thereafter, revealed by the number 4. Is he revealed, though? I don't know about all that.
Yeah, the last number 4 guy was good.
Right, yeah.
This number 4 guy is bad, right?
Apparently, yeah. Whom all the Armenians who drink the thick ice of the very swift-flowing Araxes and the great-spirited Persians will fear in wars. All right. In the midst of the in the midst of the Colchians and mighty, oh my God, and mighty Pelasgians, there will be terrible wars and slaughters. So, the first one probably from Colchis. That'd be my guess, which is that was the place where I think the story of Jason and Medea partially takes place. I forget if Medea was from Colchis or if they hid out in Colchis afterwards. I know this has like almost nothing to do with it, but just for some reference there.
Well, the last one was Greek. Or one of the previous ones was
Greek. The last one was Greek. This one doesn't
Greek
actually
too?
say.
Yeah, they say it's Greek as well.
No. Oh, they don't say anything about him. So, also, the Phrygian land and the towns of the land of Propontis, bearing double-edged swords from their scabbards, will strike each other on account of grievous impieties. Wow, that sounds a lot like... Actually, no, it doesn't. But yeah, I guess the double-edged swords, they just all kill each other.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on in this book.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Then God will show a great sign to mortal men from heaven with the revolving years.
Oh?
A bat, a portent of impending evil war.
A bat?
Bats are omens, I guess.
Yeah. But it's one bat.
One bat, a specific bat.
The specific bat.
Yes.
It is the bat.
Wow.
It is vengeance. It is the night.
Right, yeah. Then indeed the king will not escape the hands of the army, but will die, overcome by the hand with glittering iron. After him, another will reign again, of the number 50, manifested from Asia, a terrible cause of panic, a warrior, and he will wage war even against the splendid walls of Rome, on Colchians, Henochians, and milk-drinking Agathyrsians, the Euxenian Sea.
Call them milk drinking.
Milk drinking, yeah.
Milk drinkers.
Right?
Yep.
What a bunch of dorks. The Euxenian Sea and the sandy Gulf of Thrace. Then indeed the king will not escape the hands of the army. Even when he is dead, a corpse, they will rend him asunder. Then, indeed, when the king has perished, Rome, famed for men, will be desolate, and a great people will perish. Then, a terrible and frightful man from the most great Egypt will rule, and will destroy the great-spirited Parthians, Medians, Germans, Bosporidians, and Agathis. Oh my God, this word is so tough. Agathyrsians. Britons, Irenaeans, and quiver-bearing Iberians. Crooked, crooked Masagate, and overbearing Persians.
Crooked.
It says crooked.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And overbearing Persians. Well, I guess it would be crooked, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's stupid how words work. Yeah, so crooked Masagate. I don't know who those guys are. And the
Neither do I.
Persians.
Let's look them up. Masagate.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So
Let me just get this open.
All
How
right.
do you spell it?
Massagetae. So it looks like it just could be
The Massagetæ or Magasetaeans, or Orthocorybantians.
Nope, that doesn't help.
Ancient Eastern Iranian Saka people who inhabited the steppes of Central Asia and were part of the wider Scythian culture.
Huh. All right then. Yeah, I mean the Scythians are mentioned here, so makes sense.
So the subgroup.
Yeah. Then a splendid man will look upon all Greece at enmity with Scythia. Okay, I guess. And the windy Caucasus. Yeah, there will be a mighty sign. I mean, the last sign was a bat, so how much can we really hope for here?
The bat, thank you.
When he holds sway, crowns will rise from heaven in south and north, very like shining stars. Weird wording there. Weird order of words he chose to put that into.
Definitely.
Or yeah, I guess, yeah, very like instead of like very much like, even though it means the same thing. One's just easier. But I guess so. Then he will leave the royal dominion to his son, who is of the first letter.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting here. This entire time, he had been generally using the gematria for it. He's been using the numbers. Now, he's using the letter.
So J Dollar sign. The Massagetæ rose to power in the 8th, 7th centuries BCE when they kickstarted a series of events with wide-reaching consequences by expelling the Scythians out of Central Asia and into the Caucasian and Pontic steppes. The Massagetæ are most famous for their queen. What is that?
Tomyres
defeating and killing of Cyrus, found out the Persian. Yeah.
Huh, okay. So, yeah, I guess this next king will start with the letter A. When by his own fate, the manly king goes in the halls of Hades.
He's specifically a manly king.
Yeah, specifically a manly king, and I'm guessing, by his own fate. Could this be war?
Could be suicide.
Could be suicide, but that'd be a lot of suicide.
Yeah.
But when this man's son rules in the land of Rome, manifested by a unit, there will be great, very lovely peace throughout the whole earth. The Latins will love this king because of the honor of his father.
Oh.
Classic, yeah. When he is hastening to go to east and west, the Romans will restrain him, even when he is not willing. Even when he's not willing, as Lord of Rome, because all had a friendly spirit for the king, the very illustrious prince. So he's just like, everyone likes me. Why would I be mad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's having a great time.
Yeah. But after a short time, wretched death will snatch him away from life, betrayed in his own fate.
That's too bad. I guess not everyone liked him.
I suppose. Yeah, someone killed him. Yeah, I'll hand it over to you. We are at 195 is where you're going at. 195.
Okay. 195. Thereafter, again, other mighty warriors will smite each other, carrying on evil strife, having not a princely kingdom, but one of tyrants. They will indeed perform many evil things in the whole world, especially to the Romans, until the third Dionysus.
The third Dionysus?
Even this reference is uncertain, despite the use of a personal name. An Egyptian ruler is evidently intended. Gefkin suggests Mark Antony, who claimed to be Dionysus.
Mark
and was,
Antony claimed to be Dionysus?
Yeah, and was the third ruler to take the name in the Ptolemaic period.
Oh, shit. Okay. I guess that would actually make sense.
He's the third Dionysus. Until an armed Ares comes from Egypt, whom they call by name Prince Dionysus.
There you go. Okay.
But when a murderous lion and murderous lioness rend the illustrious purple royal garment, the winds will snatch up the kingdom as it falls in ruins. Then a holy prince, who obtained the first letter of the alphabet, pressing hard on hostile rulers for victory, will abandon them to dogs and birds to eat.
Once again, we have the letter.
Yes.
I feel like is this written by a different person entirely then? I feel like it might be.
It very well could be.
I feel like this transition is just...
seems written differently a little bit too. Though it is very similar.
It is similar, definitely, but the big difference is the letters and the numbering.
Yeah.
You'd think, why would one author switch like that?
Right.
Stupid.
It is
Sorry, it's style at the time.
strange.
Or they took a long break.
Maybe...
It could be years before they finish these things.
Oh,
they come
okay.
back and they change it too.
Maybe there was, once again, this is just conjecture. Maybe there was a, like whoever this author is, maybe his culture had like a thing about saying the names of like foreigners or something. So instead they use numbers.
Could be. Maybe in the language it just flowed better.
Maybe.
Because they are verses.
Well, I guess I'd have to actually see the Greek to know for sure
Right.
how it's supposed to be read.
Yeah. Okay. Woe to you, city burned with fire, mighty Rome. How many things you must suffer when all these things come to pass. But a great king, who is very famous for gold and alloy and silver and ivory, will rouse you up completely, and you will be first in the world with possessions and temples, marketplaces, riches, and stadia. Great.
Yeah, he's going to be rich, yeah.
Yeah. Then again, you will be a light to all as you were before. Alas, wretched Kekropians, Cadmeans, and Laconians.
Kekrokians?
C-E. Oh,
Yeah, C-E.
Yeah, it's C-E-C-R-O-P-I-A-N-S.
All right, let's see here. Yeah. This is so weird. Was this a... So it's a term... Okay, so it's, derived from Kekrops, of course, which means face with a tail and refers to the mythical first king of Athens. Yeah, it would be Kekrops. Kekrops the first, yeah.
So maybe this is a reference to Athens.
Yeah, I guess. All right.
Weird. There is no footnote on it.
Unfortunate.
Who are around Peneus and Molossos, deep grown with rushes, Trike, Dodona, and high-built Ithane, the Pyrican mountain pass around the great...
You all right there?
Nope, he died.
Look at this.
Oh, my God. Okay, so another typo.
They spelled Greek, lowercase g, R-E-A-K.
Ah, the Grek.
Or it might be just the Great.
Could be great.
Great Peak.
I like the Grek.
Could be either way.
Right, yeah.
But
I guess
this is why scholarship is difficult.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. You get it.
It was
Yeah.
both. It was both, you guys.
There have been a lot of typos.
Yeah.
There have been, especially in this one.
This has been
Yeah.
the worst.
Maybe he was like translating this at the same time.
Maybe he was always
Maybe it was
high.
drunk.
Maybe.
Maybe he lived in one of those caves that just made you high all the time.
No.
Man, if that would be like the biggest thing to come out about J.J. Collins is that he would like be in a fucking cave and got
Not him.
That he lives there,
that he
Lawrence.
lives there.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Okay.
Probably not. Probably not. The Pyrrhican mountain pass around the great peak of Olympus. Ossa, Larissa, and Calydon of high gates. But when God performs a great sign for men, a dark night over the world in daytime, then, king, an end will come upon you, and you will not escape the swift bow of your brother shot at you. Then a man will rule, spirit-destroying, unspeakable, fiery, of royal birth, who will have his race from Egypt. Younger, but much better than his brother, he has obtained the marked initial of the number 80. Then the entire world will receive the grievous wrath of the immortal God in its bosom because of honor.
Yeah, this has got to be either compiled or even just having different authors for, whole sections and then compiled. But this is not one author. There's just no fucking way
And
that they would bounce
moreover,
around that much.
This book is nonsense.
It is, yeah.
Like one
proving to
line
be
to the
so.
next, and like grammatically even, it's bad. I rate it so far.
Yeah, but remember, in Greek, there was no punctuation
Right.
or anything. So the issues that you would see with any of that comes from us.
Mm-hmm.
It would just be like a long string without spaces too.
Hooray!
Right.
But like the way that things are phrased and like the thought pattern.
Yeah,
right? It's just like strange.
It is.
For there will come upon articulate ephemeral man famines and pestilence, wars and slaughters, and inexhaustible darkness on the earth, mother of peoples, and disturbance of times, and implacable anger from heaven, and earthquakes and burning thunderbolts, and showers of stones and squalid drops. The lofty hilltops of the Phrygian land shook. The feet of the Scythian mountains were shaken. Towns trembled. The entire ground of the land of Greece shook with them. And many cities will fall with headlong crashes under the blazing thunderbolts and with lamentations. When God is greatly in wrath, it is not possible to flee the wrath or to escape it.
That would make sense, yeah.
So it says here, the change in tense
Okay.
is in the Greek and is typical of the inconsistency, even incoherence of Book 14.
Sure. Okay. I guess I would wonder how often does that happen. Although the fact that it's noted here means it didn't before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a change in tenses that also is generally meant to move like to a different section entirely, like complete, like more or less disconnected from the stuff beforehand. Or it could be, depending on the actual tense change, it could be a historical present. So it could be understood presently, but written historically. So
I guess there are ways that you could, like, if this is a person hallucinating, right, and then reporting on their hallucinations.
sure, yeah, that too.
Then they could be like, hey, man, I was there. I saw it happen, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And it's going to happen this way.
Yeah.
Right. So a change in tense could make sense like that. But it hasn't really popped up in any of the previous Sibyls or in this book until now. So really weird. Then a king will fall, smitten by the hand of the army, by his own men like no one else. After him, many men of the Latins will again rise up, draped with a purple cloak on their shoulders, who will love to obtain the royal dominion as their lot. Then there will be 3 kings on the splendid walls of Rome. 2 will have the first number, but one will bear the name Strife like no one else. Zach sees here a reference to the 2 Augusti, Pupienus and Balbinus, 8238, and Gordianus III, who shared authority with them. However, he reads 20, K for Kaiser, instead of Strife, to permit the identification of Gordianus.
Yeah, that's... I guess they would have... This is where we get into like the whole nickname thing, right? Because maybe nicknames were used for the gematria instead.
Mm-hmm.
Did everyone get that one thing for their Gmail about nicknames?
Oh, about the YouTube ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, we already have that. We got that. It's done. I did it.
I didn't know what you're supposed to do anyway.
It's a YouTube handle. That's it. Like, you just reserve a certain tag.
What do we reserve?
Milwaukee Atheists.
Yeah.
Good God. I would be so sad if somebody else got that.
Yeah, we already had that. The thing is, it was already in our channel name. So it's already like reserved for you. Like nobody else can take it unless you say you don't want it.
Gotcha, man.
Yeah.
This is just a weird policy change. Got it.
Yeah.
If I open another channel called Milwaukee Atheists,
you can't use the same tag.
It's
like on Twitter, right? You can't use the same tag.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, where was I?
Nicknames.
About
Strife.
The 2 Aureliuses, yeah.
Yeah, 2 Aureliuses. They will love Rome and the whole world, caring for men, but they will accomplish nothing.
Ha! Okay.
Damn.
For God was not propitious to the world, nor will he be gentle to men, because they performed many evil things. Therefore, he will bring a disgraceful spirit upon kings, much worse than leopards and wolves. For men with bronze breastplates, taking them unsparingly in their own hands, will destroy princes, complete with their scepters, who are impotently subdued and strengthless like women.
Wow. Yeah, just throw that in there.
Yeah, jeez, man. Alas, wretched men, the cream of famous Rome, relying on false oaths, you will be destroyed. Then many men who are lords of the spear will launch an attack which is not proper, and will take away the offspring of the firstborn men with blood. Ooh, they're attacking the children.
They're going to kill them.
Yeah. Then the Most High will bring upon them a fate twice as terrible, and he will destroy all men by their own deeds. But again, God will lead those who have a shameless heart to come to judgment, as many as have designed evils. They are shut up, shooting at each other, heading even to the judgment of evil. Yep, there's just a textual note.
Oh, okay.
So, the judgment of evil. Hold on. Yes. All stars will fall directly into the sea, many stars in turn, and men will call a shining comet the star, a sign of much impending toil, war, and slaughter.
Ellis with the $9.99.
Thank you, Ellis.
Thank you for that super sticker. That is a very super sticker.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It is
superhero. Yeah.
Super duper.
Yeah. Very much appreciated, Ellis.
You know, one of the things that makes this book difficult, when you look away from it, is like nothing follows from anything else.
Right, yeah.
So, like, you have no clues where you left off.
Yeah, bad writer. I feel like this wasn't, very well thought out. So, definitely, I could see someone orating this.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone saying, this is the crazy shit I saw.
Yeah. But very poorly written. Anyway, there's a textual break here. And then it comes back with, when he gathers many oracles from islands, which declare to strangers battle and grievous strife and destruction of temples. Lots of footnotes here, so I'm going to get to that.
Oh, actual footnotes. Okay.
Yeah. Well, most of them are textual.
Okay.
But the Sibylline Oracles were collected after the official oracles at Rome had been destroyed when the Temple of Jupiter was destroyed in 83 BC. And so where
it says you'll collect oracles.
Yeah. It declares to stranger many oracles from islands, right? That could be a reference to the gathering of prior Sibylline oracles, which would place the writing of this after the collection. Yeah,
that's why it's so disrupted. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's disrupted for a bunch of reasons.
Right, but the organization, the actual organization of the Sibylline Oracles, were disrupted.
Yeah. He will tell them to gather with all speed wheat and barley in the houses of Rome, as he eagerly seeks abundance for 12 months. The city will be wretched in those days, but immediately it will again be prosperous in no small way. There will be calm whenever the dominating force is destroyed. Then the race of the Latins will be reigning last, and no other kingdom will sprout after it.
Yep.
Children and the race of children will be unshaken, for it will be well known, since God himself will govern.
Wow, so they were really just saying. So yeah, this is definitely written during the Roman Empire, because they were around for a while, and like with saying that it's going to be the last one, and that there are going to be no others at all, and that God will rule. Yeah, sounding quite a bit like some late Roman propaganda.
Yeah.
At least that last section.
So, I can't make much of this book so far.
No, me neither.
It's nuts. And it's not well written. It's
so disconnected.
It's actually maybe the worst of the Sibylline Oracles.
Yeah, it is.
So, that's the end of our reading for the day. But next week, we're going to finish them all.
Yeah, we are. So there's not that much left.
How long have we been in the Sibylline Oracles?
Oh.
Months.
Yeah, months. So, yeah, there's not that much left to the Sibylline Oracles. There's going to be this one ending section, these ending few sections for the 14th one. And then there's going to be not that much in terms of fragments. And there's not that much commentary in the fragments either. So I feel like that episode's going to go super quick.
But we'll give you a summary of the collection and
yeah, absolutely.
It won't be the shortest thing ever.
Right. Because the summary
won't publish it as a short.
No, it's not that short. But anyways, hey, thank you everyone for joining us. Make sure, if you haven't yet, make sure to drop a like on the video, because guess what? I fixed it. Haha.
Wait. Scroll up.
I can't scroll up. I can only scroll down.
I fixed the shirt thing.
Nope, that's it. Go back up.
Interesting. And it looks like it.
What's it top?
It has a whole bunch
atoms.
It has a whole bunch of colors to the shirts that I didn't add.
Okay.
Or did I?
Cool.
Okay. That must have been one of the shirts where I did add a bunch of colors.
Oh, it's all atheist atoms.
All atheist atoms except for the meaning.
Holy shit. Can you? Okay, I guess we'll do that.
Buy this shirt.
Yeah. So get this shirt. And that's one thing. But yeah, make sure you drop a like on the video, because any viewer engagement helps the stream and helps the channel. Make sure you subscribe and share it around with your friends, family, Roman rulers, everyone.
Debate Hefe.
Not even worth my breath. My
opponent believes absurd things and is an untrustworthy
is your opponent?
I'm straight up.
Is your opponent a the author of Sibylline Oracles, book 14?
I don't know. Does it sound like something Hefe would write?
Maybe. Maybe it's a little too disconnected.
Oh, it's too disconnected.
That doesn't matter.
Maybe that other guy though.
He's the same guy.
The other guy?
Wesley?
Oh, that guy. Oh, what a riot. What a riot.
Wesley's great. Anyways, check us out on Patreon. You can be on the show. You can be in our patron hangouts. You can
get t-shirts.
win a t-shirt.
You can win a
instead of
t-shirt.
buying one.
Yeah, exactly. You could do that.
You could check out our Amazon wish list. Buy us books. Lots of books. And
Bookface.
Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, free to follow us on those platforms.
Do we have the YouTube membership?
I don't know if we have that set up. I'll check it.
Yeah, we should have it set up.
Yeah, I should if it's not already. But I'll definitely look into that this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thanks everyone for joining us.
Everyone who's a patron can also become a member and give you more money.
They could, but that just seems
it's
needless.
Excessive.
It is excessive. Yeah. But anyways, thanks everyone for joining us, and we will see you on Sunday. Gonna be talking about the Bible.